Good morning. Today, trees, Mother Nature trying to take over my little bit of land, so we're going to fight back. I'm kind of half joking. We don't like the leaves falling out in the branches over the tops of the sheds and everything else, so just keep them pruned back. It'll be easier kept clean come the autumn, plus it'll let a bit more light in around and keep the whole thing dry. So hope you enjoy this video. So I guess my first option on this would have been just to go for my rusty old standard saw just to cut down the branches, but some of them are quite high up, so I went out and splashed out on the cheapest tree trimmer I could find. So it's a Homebase Telescopic tree pruner and saw, and a nice blade here for cutting through stuff. So we'll get this unpacked, see how easy it is to attach the blade on, and then how to use, and we'll see how good we are at getting trees cut down, and hopefully we'll try that without killing myself or wrecking anything else around me. See how this works. It's quite slow to pull down, but I guess there's plenty of pressure on. Okay, so the blade looks like I'll have to go on here somewhere. Yeah, like this I think. So I need to take this nut off, this swing nut. Place it on here. Oops. It seems to be fairly simple to attach. You can see there that's pretty quick. A few seconds does it. So we still have this pruning function at the same time then as the saw top. Just looking at it from a different angle, essentially really we don't want any of these branches encroaching over the top of the fence. So I'm going to trim them all back. It'll also let a bit more light into the back garden as well through the morning, but it's just really to cut down the leaves and the damp and everything in this corner of the garden. tall branches here I couldn't even reach with the extension, very high up over the shed roof, so hopefully that they won't affect things too much. But what I will do is get the right tool for the job and get a chainsaw and cut those at the thicker parts further down that, you know, this tool wasn't designed. Okay, so that's the job done. So what are the tips that I would give you just if you're going to be cutting down and pruning back some of your own trees? Obviously safety is one of the biggest factors in any tips you can give. This here's a brand new saw blade essentially, so be careful when you're swinging this about. One of the other things now that was kind of unexpected was, you know, if I'd have thought, it's obvious, but when you're cutting a branch up above your head, there's going to be sawdust falling down. So I would advise to put on some eye protection if you have it. Just ordinary glasses, I'm sure will be good. And then if you have a mask, and say if you have a mask, like everybody has a mask these days, put your mask on so you don't sawdust falling into your nose and mouth. So just a wee bit of protection there, because the sawdust does fall down and it can get in your throat. One of the things that I found in this brand is that this loosen tighten mechanism here that you see in some things like paint rollers, extensions, things like that, it worked kind of, but it kept loosening up, so I had to keep extending it back out and tightening it, because, you know, I was maybe sawing at a branch and this here would just loosen itself and then it would telescope in, so I'd have to tighten it again. So it was a bit annoying now, so I don't know if that's because it was this brand. This particular one, it's a Homebase branded tree pruner, and it was about £35. There was other brand there and it was over £40, maybe £45. So I didn't buy it, but I'm just wondering, you know, would that mechanism be any different in it or not? I'll maybe just look out for that the next time I'm there. I'll try and find out, but the mechanism here, don't be relying on it too much. What I did find was that this secateur type part of the mechanism, which was for cutting the thinner branches, that actually worked really well, and that helped me cut through smaller branches really quick. And what I found was that when I cut most of the way through a branch with the saw, and the branch had fallen down, but there was still part of it left, but you know, the heel of what had been cut off was getting in the way of the saw blade, that I was able to just catch that last part in this tool here and snip it off, and that was really, really good. So that worked well. So all in all, this did exactly what I needed it to do. There were a few, you know, the tightening was just the only annoyance. The blade itself, you have to get into the knack of how to use it to saw back and forward up at height. It's a wee bit flexible, but you know, it needs to be thin, I guess, just to work and stay sharp cutting through the wood. But all in all, it was good. So that's the end of this video then. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I'm just going to stand here like the Grim Reaper and say have a good evening, and like and subscribe, of course, if you want to, for the video, and stay tuned for more of this sort of nonsense that I'm just trying to learn and get through my own, and pass on any tips or tricks that I find out as I go along.